How do you stop people from bullying you? Had this problem on the bus when I was about 13 years old. I came to the conclusion that I would rather take the chance and stand up for myself. I spent about a week preparing to get my butt kicked by this kid. I imagined the odds were against me, but the small chance to have glory was worth it. The final straw was him making fun of a brush that fell out of my backpack. I didn't just snap. I knew it was time. I ran to the seat where this kid was, and before he could stand up, I started throwing fists as fast and hard as I could. I landed 5-6 good shots to the face. Before I knew it, it was all over and the driver stopped the bus. Of course I got in trouble and was suspended from the bus for 3 days. When I came back from the suspension, the kid tried to be my friend. It was one of the scariest things I have ever done, but glad I did. Keep your fists tight and don't stand around waiting after you land a punch. A fight's not over until you're safe or beat. The longer it lasts, the more chance you have to lose. And try not to cry if you win. It makes the memory less awesome. No, don't do that. You'll give me an erection. Stephen Fry. I feel like that would just get you beat up twice as bad. Sleep with his mother. Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Buddha says go for it, bro. I was bullied in college and it sucked. I actually had to stab someone before it stopped. Don't do this, seriously. There are 2 axioms that might apply to this situation. He who lands the most punches, wins. He who brings the most paperwork, wins. If you spontaneously hit him back, you could get in trouble. If your school has a cop, you could get in serious trouble. You can get around this with a mountain of documentation. When he is near you, use your cell phone to record what he says to you. Send those recordings on to the principal. Every time he does something to you, write it down and send a copy to the principal. After a couple of weeks, you will have documented evidence that he is a bully. Once you have that, the school may punish you, but you will have enough ammunition to fight any serious punishment, suspension or expulsion, and you may even be able to sue the school. After you've got your paper shield, you can remove him. Is he bigger than you? If so, wait until he is sitting in a school desk, then hit him in the nose as hard as you can. If you have a month or 2, and the money to spare, I recommend taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu lessons. It's great fun. You will meet people who will respect you for who you are and learn how to kill people with your bare hands. You don't have to be strong or tough to start. It may be worth considering a transfer to another school. If the adults know and do nothing, you are stuck in a crap school. My brother was picked on, but when we transferred to a different school, it was night and day. He went from the outcast to the normal kid overnight. Buy a video camera and record it. Record you telling the principal, then sue the school for as much money as they can write a check for. Better make it a cheap camera if the bully is the aggressive kind. I don't know how this worked for me, but I was constantly teased as a child. It just got to the point where I stopped caring about what they said and allowed them to say what they want. I didn't give them the reaction that they wanted. Now, every time someone tries to make fun of me, I just laugh at it, especially if I've never heard of it. I guess I learned to laugh at how hard they're trying to make me feel bad about myself. It just doesn't bother me. The best thing that I can tell you is don't give them the reactions that they want. Don't be meek. Stand up for yourself. Tell your parents about it. Don't say I'm getting bullied in school. Tell them you're getting bullied in school. Ask for help. Don't let them abuse you. Don't you enable them to do that to you. If you're going through heck, keep going. Winston Churchill. My 7-year-old daughter was being bullied by a boy in her class, punching her in the stomach, shoving her, taking things from her. I suggested she talk to her teacher. Then I noticed she wasn't talking about it anymore. She was very depressed and didn't want to go to school. I asked her if that boy was still bothering her. She said yes. I asked her what the teacher had done when she told her. She said that the teacher told her to play somewhere else on the playground. I called the school and demanded the boy's address. We can't give out that information. I said okay then. I will follow the little crap home and knock on his door with a baseball bat in my hands and explain to its parents in terms they will understand that he should keep his hands to himself. I went further with a diatribe concerning my not raising my daughter to be victimized by some vicious caveman thug and that maybe I should give her a bat to knock him out with. A few days, I asked her how things were going at school. She said, "It's really weird, mommy. He doesn't even come near me anymore." Apply fist directly to the face. Repeat until bullying stops. Start a rumor that he propositioned you for intercourse, then became violent when you turned him down. Every time he bullies you, just give the ol' head nod to those you've told the rumor. He'll get wind of it, and he'll be furious, but won't do anything about it for fear of falsely confirming the rumor. He'll drop out of school and fall into drug-alcohol addiction. He'll be arrested a few times for domestic violence before taking his life in a manic-depressive episode, leaving behind a divorced single mother and 3 estranged children. Step 1. Inform the bully that you do not know him. Step 2. Assert that he will not steal your purse. Step 3. Kick him square in the balls. Disproportionate force as a response to every incident. Growing up, my dad's motto was do not retaliate, escalate. We mainly applied it to sibling prank wars, but I think it kinda fits in this situation too. You have to stand up for yourself. It's as simple as that. The next time the bully does something physical, announce loudly, "Do not touch me again." He will probably laugh, say oh 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 oh, or what? Immediately touch you again, or all 3 at once. The second he touches you, punch him in the face, aim for his nose, and keep punching until someone pulls you off of him. You may break his nose and win the fight, or he may block your punch and beat you up. Either way, 2 things are going to happen. The first is that you will earn his respect. You are no longer the beta to his alpha. You don't exist for his entertainment, to help him demonstrate his higher value relative to your own, to help him show off to his friends, etc. The second is that he will have to leave you alone after this. You're both going to get suspended for fighting, but this will probably be your only suspension, because you're not an instigator. He on the other hand will probably want to keep bullying, but he can't keep targeting you or he's quickly going to get expelled from school. He has to move on to the next wimp who will just stand there and take it, complain to his parents, complain to the principal, rant on message boards, etc. When he picks on the wimp, he doesn't get suspended. When he picks on you, he has a fight on his hands, and he gets in trouble. He can't keep getting in trouble and stay in school. The principal does not give a crap. The principal is a man with a family. He is paid by the school to do certain things so that he can provide for his family. The lawyers have told the school that they must have a zero tolerance policy for fighting, which means that everyone who fights gets suspended, regardless of whether they're instigating or defending themselves. He listens to the lawyers because he wants to keep his job. Your job is to defend yourself so that you can focus on your academics and socialize your friends without living in constant fear of torment. Do it now. Even if you lose, the physical damage won't be as bad as the psychological damage you'll have from years of being tormented. Also, lawyers, the school is afraid of them. If you get suspended, have your parents call and inform the school. They'll be hearing from yours if any documentation of the suspension in any way makes it onto your permanent record. I think the whole permanent record stuff the school talks about is mostly BS anyway though. You're right. It's better to stand up for yourself even if that means getting suspended. Yay, the permanent record is complete BS and getting suspended isn't going to do crap except give you a week or 2 vacation. I was a skinny 7th grader and there was this big kid, Charlie, that had a bike gang. 4-5 other kids that worshipped him, all on BMX bikes. My little brother and I were rolling skating around the hood when they rolled up and blocked our way. Charlie got off his bike and started threatening us and teasing us. His gang in the background laughing it up at our expense. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember getting angrier and angrier, fists clenching and unclenching, hate building up inside me. My brother, on my left, pleaded something about letting us go. Charlie looks over at him, all I see is the left side of his head. I hauled off and punched him in the cheek as hard as I could. He held his mouth, brought his hand down, looked at his palm filled with blood and just started crying. His gang freaked. I was expecting them to attack, thought this was it, but he ran back to his bike, and they all left cursing at us the whole time. He never bothered us again. This was 1980. Yes, I'm old, so times were different then. But still, I say defend yourself. As a parent, I would want my kid to tell me. I would have a talk with that pose principal. You didn't even have to tell us it was 1980. Bike gang, BMX, roller skates, heck, even the kid's name being Charlie. Thanks for sharing. It happened to me really bad when I was younger. I had no front teeth for 3 years. Long story. It sent me into depression. I had to have help for several years before I was good again. And no, bullying is not okay, and it never will be. However, it partially made me who I am today. I proudly serve in the US Armed Forces, forward observer in the Army. I have friends. I'm in great shape, and I love my life. All this stuff aside, if this guy is making it clear that he has no intention of stopping, then just buckle down and carry on. Some cards dealt to you in life are terrible, and it really isn't fair. But you and I both know that you have the strength to overcome this and be a better person because of it. Take this misplaced energy, these bad vibes, this angst, sadness, depression, whatever you are feeling, and turn it towards something that you can do to improve yourself. Do it so that when you get to college and further on, everyone looks at you and wants to model the positive changes in their own lives on you. Do it so that years down the line, you can look back and confidently say I beat you by being a better person. Do it for the people who have faith in you, parents, friends, even us Redditors. Most importantly, do it for yourself. Good luck, friend. Tally another point for the violence does solve things sometimes side. It worked for me. Punch him in the face, then punch him in the face again. Only advice I can give you is to be wary of advice you receive online from people who don't know the bully and don't know the general climate of your school. Some bullies you need to stand up to. Some bullies will get worse if you stand up to them, because all they want is a reaction. Some bullies will go away if you ignore them. Some are encouraged by it, especially if they have other friends who they can laugh about your apparent obliviousness with. Does your bully appear popular? What do your classmates think of him? There are also probably things about you that make you a natural target for them. The way you look, talk, dress, hobbies, whatever. In my school, the kids most prone to get mad when bullied were the biggest targets. But again, every school is different. Post bully's picture here on Reddit and the good people here will make a meme out of it and spread it to everyone in the internet. And there may be a little bit of Photoshop on the side. If not, 4chan. Teachers need to start getting involved in that sort of thing. Unless they're completely oblivious, they know who are the bullies and who is getting bullied. However, since most teachers won't get involved, you need to stick up for yourself. You need to take a cheap shot at him. Just one good punch straight across the face. Land him on his butt. That's unfortunately the only sort of thing that gets through to these sorts of people. It'll make life better for you, and whether the bully knows it or not, it may just help him become a better person later in life. Any chance you can record the bullying? Video with audio would be ideal, but audio alone could suffice so long as you identify the perpetrators by name and their voices are clearly heard. I would aim for both video and audio to be on the safe side. You'll only get one real shot at this. If you have a smartphone with the capability to do so, you could alter a jacket to hide it, align the camera lens with a small hole in it and sew the phone into place on the inside. If that's not an option, there are pens with audio and or video capabilities that you can buy online or at a local spy shop. Once you've gathered enough evidence, more is always better in the long run. Should the school administration be as lazy as they sound, take it to them after making duplicate copies. Put them in a position where they're forced to do something about it. If they still refuse to do anything, take it to the local media. Seriously, they would jump at the chance to cover it during their evening news broadcast, and the school would be shamed into doing something about it. My grandfather said that when you are being picked on by someone bigger than you, there is no shame in having an equalizer. His favorite was a 2x4 with a nail in it. This is a really tough thing to avoid. First of all, you have to determine why he does this. Is it a long-lived grudge between you and him, or has he chosen you because of how you react? If it is the latter, he is most likely doing it to impress others. If you react negatively to this, you have helped him fulfill his goal. This may sound a bit cliché, and it may depend on the severity of it all, but laugh it off or come around with a good comeback. Anything which may humiliate him works. Note, don't take this advice too far. If it is more serious, you'll need some people to back you up. I can assume the friends you have may not be on your side. In that case, make new friends. Try to talk to people who are more mature and serious, and who will eventually look out for you. It might seem hard, but I am sure that with the right attitude you can succeed. If none of this works, and you are desperate for an immediate change, I would suggest to transfer to a new school. This really depends on how bad it is and what your options are, so make this decision carefully. Had a kid picking on my cousin on the bus back when I was a kid. 6th grade maybe. He'd hit him, threaten him. He even left bruises. He was pretty relentless and it went on for a few weeks. I was not a small kid, which proved useful on many occasions. I told him to knock it off on several occasions, but he didn't. I even told the principal about what was going on, but she couldn't do anything. Eventually, he gave my cousin a black eye with a shoe. The next day is when I decided I would destroy this child. After I got on the bus, I waited for the perfect moment, threw myself into his seat and began to pummel him. Now, this was the first time I had ever beat anyone up, so I didn't know that when I start punching, I can't stop. I went into a blind rage, and as I'm raining blows upon him, I was laughing, according to the other kids that saw it. When it was finally broken up by the bus driver, we both had blood all over our clothes, more his than mine. I got in trouble, of course, and both of my parents tried to act like they weren't kind of proud that I defended my cousin. It turned out that I also broke my knuckle on that kid's face. He never even looked at me or my cousin again after that. If I could do it all over again, I would bring a bat to school and beat the crap out of them until they can't move. Yes, I'm being serious. Nothing ever worked for me, not even school administration. It's your move and you're alone. At least that's how I felt. I was big and clumsy as a kid. Kinda still am. Got bullied through grade school. I took taekwondo, but had the self-control to never attack someone who was bullying me. I was in 5th grade. My parents told me that if I was being harassed to tell a teacher. If it happens again, let them know again. But if after the 3rd time, the kid didn't stop, let him have it. So I did. This kid had come up behind me and tried to put me in a full Nelson. Much to his surprise, I broke his hold and went completely berserk. Hit him with a spinning back kick to the sternum and started throwing roundhouse kicks at his head. I will never forget the look on his face, completely overwhelmed. The first kick knocked the wind out of him and he stood there and took kicks to the face until his nose started bleeding. I wouldn't have stopped, but a teacher came to break it up. Dragged the two of us to the principal's office where I explained what triggered my outburst. I remember talking to the principal, literally shaking with adrenaline and sputtering to get my words out. I just want IT to stop. The principal was a big bearded man and I yelled right into his eyes with all my frustration. The bully turned victim said nothing, sobbing in the chair next to me, staring at the floor with a towel over his nose. I got a week of suspension, during which time I hung out with my older brother. We pigged out and played video games all day. My parents were not upset with me one bit. So, the only way to stop the bullying is to stand up in a very public way. Allow the teachers to see it, and when you get dragged to the principal's office, let him or her know exactly how you feel. You will probably get punished in some way, but it will cause the school staff to keep a watch on you. Even if you get your butt kicked, if you freak out and start swinging on some kid in front of teachers, the fight won't last long. Yeah, bullying is a problem for a lot of kids growing up, but sometimes, going completely balls out on someone will solve all your problems. Kick his freaking butt. The Ender method. Respond with such fury and destruction they will never be able to retaliate. I have to win this now, and for all time, or I'll fight it every day and it will get worse and worse. Ender's game. Become captain of the football team, then pick the hottest cheerleader and date her. One way or another you have to do something. Join a mixed martial arts or kickboxing gym. You will learn a ton of self-confidence, get in great shape, and learn the skills to deal with that butthole. Fight him. You don't have to be good at fighting. You don't even have to win. All you need to do is let him know that if he's going to try any of that crap you're going to fight back and he's probably going to end up getting suspended for fighting. The downside is you will probably be suspended because schools have stupid zero tolerance policies, but make sure you explain the bullying and tell them that as long as they let it go on, you're going to keep defending yourself. Punch him in the dong hard. You need to show him he's being a jerk. All these methods, like beat him up and ignore him, are basically getting to this point in different ways. He needs to see that most people don't like what he's doing and most people aren't laughing with him. When he does something to you, real loud say something like, dude, what are you doing, man? You don't act like this in public. Dude, get your crap together or quit being a jerk. Dude, don't you notice you're the only one who acts like such a douchebag? Say it in a tone like you're saying, are you kidding me? The best way I've ever seen someone shut down a bully was in middle school when this kid just said, real loud, dude, why are you such a butthole? The bully was speechless. All eyes were on him and he didn't know what to say. He finally spit out something like, why are you such a loser? And he said, why are you? No one likes you. Everyone thinks you're a jerk and you're not good at anything. You're a loser, man. If the bully says something like you're stupid because you like, then say who gives a crap if he wants to fight you. Say, do you really think this is how you handle things? Say it like you're shocked he thinks this is okay. The only way to stop a bully is by embarrassing them in front of other people. Turn the focus onto him by phrasing things in questions where he has to defend his actions in a tone that says, what the heck are you thinking? Once he knows people are on your side, he will stop. I promise. Hang in there. Swift, disproportionate revenge. First, ignore everyone who says you can't deal with this yourself. You can, and you pretty much have to unless you want to spend your life getting bullied. Two ways work. Best way is to fight him. You have to fight him every time he does something, and he's probably bigger than you, so you're going to lose. As long as you get a shot or two in, it will still work because you don't have to beat him up so much as you have to make it more difficult to pick on you. Second best way is to redirect him to a different target. This is a crappy way to do it, since you are just passing your bully off to another kid, and if that kid tries plan A from above, you will get your bully back in no time flat. The third best way is to stuff your rage and feelings of impotence inside you and resign yourself to a school career of being picked on severely. Then be more successful than him and laugh at him at your high school reunion. Problem is, this way sets you up for a lifetime of issues. And for God's sake, don't listen to the people who say tell a teacher, tell a parent, because you can't do this yourself. Try telling adults first. But if you haven't figured it out yet, adults are notoriously bad at not doing what they are supposed to do. You can, however, count on yourself. Telling teachers and whatnot almost always makes it worse. What usually works is fighting them. Catch them off guard. Don't ball your fists and give them a heads up. The second they come to give you more crap, sock him. Don't even do it fair. Punch him in the balls, then wail on him. You'll inevitably get suspended, but isn't a 2-day vacation worth not dealing with this all year? Also, you have a history of being bullied by them, so it'll make the dean look really bad that he didn't prevent it. So you might actually be helping kids in the future too. Get pepper spray and spray his balls with it. Next time he comes up to you to mess with you, shout as loud as possible, "For the last time, I won't let you suck my dong." If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.